is Saturday, 2nd of August 2025. Time is about 8 a.m. New York time. And as usual, it's another weekend for us to analyze the market, see where the major indexes and the dollar and gold and other important assets are going and how we can take advantage of it. So let's get into XPX 500, very similar to the NASDAQ 100. On the weekly setup, you already have your strong bearish engulfing setup right here. This right here tells me next week for sure, yes, we do will come back down. When we step down to the daily chart, the daily is already confirming a strong reversal. Remember, since we started this whole move up, we've never closed, except here. Okay, here is one that we do close below the 21, and we did bounce back up. And here we have closed deeply below the 21. And I was always saying that until we close below the 21, the uptrend was intact. Now that we have actually closed below the 21, to me, the uptrend technically is over. This is not a pullback to go further up in the short term. I'll show you some indicators as well on a higher time frame. Step down to the 4 hours. The 4 hours is hitting right to the 200 period moving average, and that's where you are getting your support at the moment. So yes, based on the 4 hours, I probably would expect some retrace from this level, and everybody probably might think, okay, it's a pullback to go further up. But based on a higher time frame, we're not going to break this all-time high that we formed. There's something here that I'll show you. This is a huge divergence between here and here. And with this divergence on a higher time frame, I'm not expecting us to go reclaim this high anytime soon. Target wise, our target was hit beautifully. 64.17 was hit. They cleared with liquidity above it beautifully, as they always do. Before any major reversal, the market makers would always trap liquidity at the top. We have our moving averages on 4 hours all crossing. When you have your 20 crossing the 50, your 9 already below all the two moving averages. This all suggests to you of a stronger correction rather than a bounce, a pullback bounce for us to be buying. Like I said, you're getting your bounce because we're hitting a major moving average on the 4 hours, which is the 200 exponential moving average. And that's about all that is going to happen. You might get a little bit of retrace back up to about 6,300. Okay, a move up to about 6,300 could be expected, but ultimately a further breakdown. I want us to step down to the monthly so I can show you something that I was looking at on the monthly. So on the monthly, I was pointing out to the volume all along ever since we started this, reversal, and I was saying that this volume pattern was giving me a cautious trade. As the move was going up. Of course, we're going to trade with what is happening on the chart itself. But this was a big signal, and I did signal is right from about 3 months ago that you cannot have price going up and up and up whilst your volume bars are just declining and declining. Somebody must be selling to the buyers, and that person made a lot of money over the last 3 months. Now this is now getting confirmed with the month is not over, it's just the beginning. We have this red candle at the beginning of the month. The other thing I wanted to show also on the monthly is the divergence on RSI, and this divergence has played out beautifully. Now, in my opinion, even though the month is not completed, based on the lower time frame from the daily to the weekly, I would consider this divergence cemented. Okay, so this is your all-time high of November, first week of the month of November. Okay, we made an RSI high of about 86. We pulled back in a deeper correction, strong bounce, the most hated rally of Wall Street, and we just made an RSI high of 76. Between here and here is your divergence, right? From here, November 1st, July 1st is your divergence. You've gone to make an all-time high on SPX500, but your RSI has hit a lower high right here. And then the monthly divergence in play means that, similar to what we had here, had a monthly divergence between August 2nd, 2021 and July 3rd, 2023, and it wasn't a small pullback. If you look on the chart, it was a major sell-off. Okay, we continued all the way from about what, um I think that was somewhere here. Let me go back to the chart so I can show it clearly. Yep, all the way from here. Okay, so somewhere around December 2021, let's say 2022 January, and this divergence that occurred here played itself all out to this point. And then when we had this bear showing up here, we did have how many months of sell-off? 1, 2, 3. So at least 3 months we were in the red. Okay, now with this one happening at the beginning, I'll consider it something similar to what happened somewhere here, 2021, coming all the way down to September 2022. Okay, we might have a similar sell-off like that. Reason, as I was pointing out, is this divergence on the monthly time frame. You have stochastic cycle also almost turning down, also at the same level where it usually turns down. I think by the close of this month, stochastic cycle would have turned down, and that would mean we'll be coming all the way down either to the 50% level or probably to the 19-20% level. So not looking good on the indices on XPX. This is not the time to assume, as some are saying, the secular trend is going to continue. I think pretty much the rally is done, until I see something or a change. Yes, like I always say, I trade with what is happening on the chart itself. When I see the data has changed, yes, I'll change my thesis statement. But for now, I expect SPX500 to, continue, or do a deeper correction. Target wise, let's step down to the daily chart and see how far we're coming towards the daily. Remember, on 4 hours, we've hit a 200 period moving average outside our KC band. It's also a support zone. If you look on the daily chart, here was the previous accumulation zone. Therefore, I expect some reaction here. Some bounces will happen here, but ultimately my target for the next coming week is either we probably will come all the way down to 6,000. We probably could, but I'll take the 50 period moving average area support as the target in the next coming week. I'm pretty confident that this target will be hit. 61,555 first target. Second target would be 6,040, right about here. Okay, so that's my analysis on the S&P 500. I wish everyone a profitable trade this coming week. And if you're looking to take a short on SPX500, but you're not sure what indexes or what stock to buy that would give you money, I think you could probably take a buy on the I think it's XPX. I think that's XPX. No, XPX with an S at the end. Okay, so XPXX. Okay, you could buy the XPXX, and that would give you a nice profit as the market declines. With this, I think I'm done with my analysis on XPS for the week. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for supporting my publications, and have a great trading week. Cheers.